Hello everybody, welcome to Wild Boy Movies, the place to talk movies, and this is part 2 of creating my own MCU. In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys what my version of Phase 2 of this cinematic universe will look like. If you haven't checked out part 1 where I gave you guys my version of Phase 1, it will be up here in this link bubble. So be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below your thoughts on my version of Phase 2. But without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so Phase 2 of my MCU will be 12 movies long, and will kick off with Iron Man 3, which will be similar to the real Iron Man 3 that we got, but with some minor changes. Iron Man will still have PTSD from the events of the Avengers. The Mandarin will be the main villain of the movie and will be the legitimate Mandarin, not an actor. Aldrich Killian will still be in the movie but will not get the extremist serum. Tony Stark will still have his arc reactor surgically removed at the end of the movie, and there will be an additional post-credit scene featuring the Mandarin in prison and being broken out. After the release of Iron Man 3, we will get The Amazing Spider-Man. Now this movie is essentially going to be the same as Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2, where Spider-Man loses his powers and Doc Ock is the main villain. But there will be some minor changes to the movie. There will be references to the Avengers and the Battle of New York. J. Jonah Jameson hires Peter Parker for the Daily Bugle. Doc Ock survives and is sent to prison, and Mary Jane breaks up with Peter Parker. Aside from that, it's the same movie as Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2. After The Amazing Spider-Man, the next movie to be released will be The Incredible Hulk Returns. Now since we only got one Hulk movie in the MCU, I'm gonna have to make up my own plot for the following Hulk sequels. So for this movie, we will follow Bruce Banner after the events of the Avengers trying to contain his Hulk side so that the Hulk doesn't cause any destruction or fear. The villain of the movie will be Absorbing Man. And the final battle will take place at a nuclear power plant where Absorbing Man wants to absorb a bunch of radiation to destroy the entire world. This of course grabs the attention of the military, which accidentally causes General Ross to be pushed into some gamma radiated liquid, which leaves him hospitalized but also teasing his eventual transformation into the Red Hulk. This eventually leads to Bruce Banner breaking up with Betty Ross for her own good, and tries to find a way for the Hulk to be less destructive to civilians. Next film on the slate is Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Now this movie is going to be exactly the same as the real life Captain America Winter Soldier that we got. The Winter Soldier will be the main villain, Falcon will be introduced, Arnim Zola will be in the movie, and it will be revealed that S.H.I.E.L.D. has been corrupted by Hydra. Essentially, no changes whatsoever to the real-life Winter Soldier movie. Following the release of Captain America: The Winter Soldier, the next movie we'll be getting is Thor: The Dark World. In this movie, we see Thor getting ready to become the new king of Asgard once Odin retires. This is when Thor has to fight against the Dark Elves, who is led by Malekith, who is the main villain of the movie, who wants to get his hands on the Reality Stone, which is inside Jane Foster after discovering the stone on Earth. Loki will team up with Thor just like the real movie and will ultimately cause Loki's death. The movie will end with Thor deciding to hold off on ruling Asgard. Loki is still alive and is revealed to have taken Odin's place. Thor returns to Earth to be with Jane Foster and to protect the planet, and the post-credit scene will feature Lady Sif meeting the Collector to give him the Reality Stone. The next movie that we will be getting in this phase is a brand new franchise, The Fantastic Four. This movie will be an origin story set in 1963 where they participate in the space race, which ultimately causes them to be exposed to cosmic radiation, giving them superpowers where they form the Fantastic Four and become superheroes. The main villain of the movie will be Doctor Doom, who at this point in the MCU has taken over Latveria, his home country. Doom's ultimate plan in this movie is to end up taking over the world, and he does so by trying to combine Earth with the quantum realm. The Fantastic Four eventually team up to fight Doctor Doom, where they win, but they ultimately get sucked into the quantum realm. And the movie will end with the Fantastic Four back at the Baxter Building, only for it to be revealed that they are in fact home, but they're in the completely wrong year. But they are in the wrong time period, because they are now in the wreckage of the Battle of New York. Following the Fantastic Four, we will be getting Blade 2. Just like the first movie, it will be rated R, and will follow Blade as he tries to hunt down Morbius, the living vampire. Ghost Rider will be introduced in this movie, and it will also delve into the backstory of Blade. The next movie will be Guardians of the Galaxy, and this movie will be exactly the same as the real-life Guardians of the Galaxy movie that we got. Like, this movie is so good that it doesn't require any changes to fit my version of the MCU. Next movie will be introducing another new character into the cinematic universe, Daredevil. Just like with Blade, this movie will be rated R. This movie will follow Matt Murdock as he teams up with Karen and Foggy to form their own law firm, while Matt decides to start fighting crime as a hero. The main villain of the movie will be Kingpin. Matt will start off with an all-black homemade suit, but will eventually don his Netflix series suit by the end of the movie. And the final battle of the movie will be extremely brutal with a lot of blood. But ultimately, Kingpin is arrested, and now Matt Murdock is not only a lawyer, but also the vigilante hero, Daredevil. The next movie after Daredevil will be X2, XMen United. This movie will introduce a whole new group of mutants who join the X-Men, who will be Beast, Gambit, and Colossus. The main villain of the movie will be the Shadow King, and will also feature Wolverine learning about his past as a part of the Weapon X program. The final battle of the movie will feature the Shadow King attacking the X-Mansion, where the X-Men win, while Wolverine decides to leave the X-Men and searches for William Stryker, the head of the Weapon X program. Following X2 will be yet another team-up movie in this phase, Avengers: Age of Ultron. And while this movie will be the same as the real-life movie that we got, including the introduction of Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, and Vision, there will be one major change to the movie, and that is Quicksilver will not die, but will be mortally wounded from the Battle of Sokovia. And as well as the Thanos end credits scene, there will be an additional post-credit scene with Quicksilver in the hospital where he's confronted by Charles Xavier and is recruited to join the X-Men. And that brings us to our final film of Phase 2, AntMan. Just like the last film in this phase, this film will be the exact same movie as the one that we got in real life. But instead of making one major change, I'm going to be making an addition to the movie. And that is the origin of Hank Pym's fascination with the quantum realm. Because it will be revealed that Hank Pym was one of the people who witnessed the battle between the Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom back in 1963. which led him to study the quantum realm, and a year later in 1964 became the first Ant-Man. And that was my version of Phase 2 of the MCU. This phase introduced a lot of brand new characters, but also started to tie in some of the other MCU franchises into one combined cinematic universe. Be sure to keep an eye out on my channel for whenever I decide to release my version of Phase 3 of the cinematic universe. So be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below your thoughts on my version of Phase 2. And I will see you in the next video, and have a great day.